Cannabis cultivation per the laws in California. You know, this is fairly new, barely a few years old, but it's a serious business. People will kill for it. That's proven. People will die for it. And that's proven. And in California, it is now not just medically legal, but also recreational. Like I said, you must be 21 years or older. If you're going to cultivate in your home, you can only cultivate 6 plants. Primarily, the state would rather you have them indoors than outdoors. In outdoors, they cannot be in any kind of public view. It's like drinking a beer, You can't be drinking on your front yard. You just they prefer you to take it behind a fence or something, not be drinking in public, But uh, the actual recreational laws still apply. It's just like alcohol. It can still be used against you in court, especially when you're having like custody issues, custody court. You want to see your kids more often. Well, your ex can bring it up that hey, there just like there's alcohol being consumed at the house where they're gonna watch the kids. They can bring up the marijuana. It doesn't matter if it's recreational. It's not illegal to do it in front of your kids, but it will be frowned on in court. And just like alcohol. And if you do cultivate, you have to actually have it behind a gate, behind a locked door, and that could be interpreted in many ways. But it has to be under lock and key. Uh, it's best if you don't tell anybody that you're actually cultivating, for the fact that people will try to jack you. So they'll break down your door and try to steal whatever you have. Especially if they hear that you have quite a bit. Or it's just you just got a new batch, but you just got to be very very careful. And with that being said, so finally some closure for these people actually up in the Detroit area for the actual attempted robbery of over 100 kilos of marijuana. Justin, a 30-year-old of Flint, was sentenced to 17 years in federal prison for his participation in a deadly attempted robbery of over 100 kilograms of marijuana from a residence in Seneca County. Apparently, these it was quite a few individuals. They actually gathered some intel about this operation at home, and according to the documents, at various times prior to November 2017, Justin and his co-conspirators drove to a residence in Seneca County where they attempted to break into a building on the property in order to steal over 100 kilograms of marijuana, which they later intended to get rid of it, sell it, right? When those attempts at stealing the marijuana failed, Justin and his conspirators planned to take the marijuana by force by ways of armed robbery. On or about November 2017 and continued until November 2017, Justin and his conspirators gathered at a residence in Flint to prepare for the robbery. Some members of the conspiracy armed themselves with firearms to use during the robbery. Justin and the other members of the conspiracy then traveled to a gas station to obtain gasoline and to facilitate their travel and also to buy some actual items for the robbery. So they actually bought a box of actual lawn bags, like the black plastic bags for your to put leaves in or for trash can liners. Wow, just by that in itself, you know how hard it is to actually try to open up a black bag when you're in the middle of a robbery. You might as well just have taken flattened boxes. That would have took you much less time to put that box together than to actually try to open up a black lawn bag. And and plus the bags tear up with the stems, you know. But who would actually since they're I mean it shows what their intelligence is because who would actually listen to somebody and follow through on a robbery like this? It just doesn't make sense, right? So they arm themselves with weapons. That's fine and everything, but did they not know that the actual residents would have weapons on hand? Just think about it. When cops raid a home, they don't put the bulletproof vest just because it's handy or whatever. It's for a reason because there's a good chance that you might get shot back at, especially for domestic violence calls. So why wouldn't you try to at least have some kind of actual body armor, you know? And so as they approached the actual house, they had their weapons out, they kicked in the front door, and they forced their way into the residence. Some of the actual conspirators started firing before they made contact with the actual residents, giving them plenty of time to react. And I'm pretty sure they had weapons nearby. Well, obviously they did. One of the residents was shot by the intruders. One of the residents shot two of the intruders, killing both of them. And at that point, the gig was up, and these whoever was still alive took off. You know, took off in their vehicles empty-handed. And I believe that's he got a little bit of time too. 17 years is not nothing compared to you caused two people to be killed over this. Once somebody shot in the leg over this, and you know people aren't going to be the same again. You know, people, I mean, you know how traumatizing that would be just to kill somebody. You know, well, of course you did it for self-defense, but still, you know, you still got to live with that. You know, it doesn't go away, and it just doesn't make sense. And why would they even try to attempt this? It just doesn't make sense. You know. Okay, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe.